Well, that was weird because I thought I was recording doing the video, but actually I was doing an audio recording. Well, that's kind of weird in itself. Bridge on C, it is, back to this again, it's 10:04 p.m., it's August 3rd, 2020. It is Monday night. I gotta back up what I was saying because unfortunately what I was talking about was on an audio recording and I thought the video was going on. My mistake. Saw the light, but I didn't exactly see the whole thing recording at this point over here. Gotta look for that little red light down there. Talking about science. I was going through YouTube and watching a few live cams, and one of them was doing a NASA rover on Mars. You know, a lot of people are like, well, big whoop, we've been to Mars. It's been years. It's been decades. Yes, it's been about 4 decades since we landed a probe on her. Viking. Did anybody remember what Viking was? Carl Sagan would have told you. If you were still alive, God rest his soul. But Viking was going to be the first American satellite that was actually going to be showing pictures and taking samples and trying to analyze them right there on the spot. And the shots they took knocked the world out back in the late 70s of what they were showing. And in the book, in the television show on PBS called Cosmos, a 12-part, 1-year series of it, talking about science left and right. The book was fascinating. The TV show was following the book, and both of them are following each other. And Carl Sagan wrote a few other things before he passed away in the 90s. But he was a prominent astronomer. I don't know what he did in his past. I'm not going to judge him on his past. All I know is about his scientific record and his recommendations at this point over here. All I know is he had an enthusiasm for science, and that's what attracted me to it. So watching a Mars cam showing the geologic nature of Mars, you know, at times I'd seen pictures of Mars. I'm like, okay, big whoop. It's not until you get a rover taking a look at the pictures slowly, it kind of draws you in a little bit. A lot of people I know these days are looking at stuff like that. They're saying it's fake. It's made up. Well, I can assure you that if it's a satellite on Mars doing a live camera shot, it's not fake, it's real. You think it's a Hollywood studio? Let's get you out there and find out. You provide the proof. You're going to be a naysayer, you got to provide your own proof. Otherwise, you're just wasting air. You're wasting oxygen at this point over here. Prove your case. Make your point. We've made our point. NASA has sent many satellites on there, stationary. And now we've got rovers out there. We've got satellite stations going out there to take more and more samples of the air, looking for water, looking for microbes, looking for life on Mars. And if they actually happen to find any prehistoric microbes, that proves that there would be life on Mars and possibly life in other planets. Now, they can't deny that crap, can they? If we actually sent probes over to the moons of Jupiter, Europa being one of them, and if they happen to prove that there's any microbes over there living, actually surviving. Now, I'd say forget Venus and Mars. Mars is, not Mars, but Mercury. Mercury's all cooked up. Venus is a dust bowl. There's no way in hell. Mars could be, even though it is a dust bowl a bit, but they could have it. If they have evidence of liquid, then they've got to have evidence of life somewhere. And it's up to the probes to find it. That's why we keep sending our probes. Billion-dollar probes being sent up in satellites, and about 1 year later they're on the Mars, and they're checking things out. Every 2 years we get close enough for satellite to do slingshot to get to Mars and land on there and then do its thing. It takes a while. There was a great distance between Earth and Mars. It's not like the moon. Hell, in the moon, in an Apollo shot, shit, we did about 4 days getting over there and 4 days back for a road trip. You got a week trip. But we're talking about Mars. We're talking about months and months. So, it's challenging. It's very challenging. And we don't have the technology capable of getting us over there fast enough. We don't have warp drive. We don't have sublight engines. We don't have ion engines. But they're developing nuclear. They've already got nuclear engines. They're trying to develop ion propulsion, and if they can get that perfected in space, maybe it'll be a hell of a lot faster than what we're traveling, satellite-wise, so we can see more, see what's out there. Seeing Mars for the first time, seeing that planet. I saw it out on the Viking missions back in '76. We're watching this on the news. I watch it on Channel 28. They're doing a live streaming from JPL. It's like, oh my God, what the hell is that? I don't know, John. What do you think it is? We're looking at an alien planet. I think we are. Whoa. We're looking at Mars. Mars kind of fascinated me a bit. So does science. It helps when you go to a school that actually has science curriculums back then. And you actually had engineers, chemists, and scientists of all sorts to educate the students. There was actually an Apollo engineer for the Apollo space program being a science teacher. Al Squattrito, God rest his soul. I met his niece a couple of decades ago, working over at a call center when I joined up with him. I was sad to hear that Mr. Squattrito passed away a few years back. I wish I could have attended his funeral. But he was one of those NASA engineers that graced my life. He was one of the guys that worked on the Apollo engine. He had a love of engineering, of science, of mechanics, of astronomy. That's what got me hooked in science a little bit, being a science geek. But what drives me crazy is when I go on YouTube or any other kind of chat forum, and I'm seeing people throwing out the politics left and right. And I'm figuring, not one of these idiots have ever studied. Not one of these idiots have ever been in a science class. Understand what they're looking at. And it makes me sad, actually, that education, even across the globe, is wasted on people who could care less about anything else but politics. About this side is better and that side sucks. That's what I keep seeing these days. And it's kind of hard to deal with that kind of reality, because I know science is worth it. Science is worth the endeavor. It is worth all the human blood, sweat, and tears we pour into it. Because science is what drives our technology, what drives us forward. We still have to learn how to deal with morality. We still have to have our moral compasses to guide us. And what is needed and what is not, and what is right and what's wrong. What's ethical and what's not ethical. Astronomy doesn't have to be political. Astronomy doesn't have to have ethics at this point over here. It's a simply study of the universe. Now, some people think it's a curse, because we shouldn't be bothering to study the universe. We study the universe, it's like big whoop to them. What's it going to do for them? What did it do for them? What technologies do they understand that they're existing with but didn't come up anywhere else? They'll look at the lunar landings and wonder why we need to go back. Because we keep looking at the population control. If we keep exploding with our populations instead of decreasing at this point over here, we're definitely going to be killing the Earth at this point, just put it bluntly. We'll be using up all the resources. There'll be nothing left. And basically, Earth will have a hell of a time trying to recover after we killed it, or come close to it. We have to explore space. We have to find places to live. It means if we have to live in trash cans up in space, we'll do that. Pressurized cans. Spam in a can, basically. You may laugh at the damn situation, but we need to explore. We need to get out there. We need to see what's out there. We need to see if we can survive, if we can live. We make all these wonderful sci-fi shows of morality, of exploration, of battles, and God knows what else we can put up there. We can make comic books regarding a thing. We can write novels like crazy, but the thing is, until we actually get our asses on the moon and living on there, and Mars on there, and maybe putting up mining colonies out there, we really have no concept. We can float around people in a pressurized can for 20 or 30 years. You know, keep rotating crews left and right, but we still have a space station out there. That's their testing block. They're trying to test whether or not, if we can actually survive. Are there techniques needed to be developed to survive the rigors of space? And what do we need to do in order to accomplish that? But of course people are saying, what's the practical goal for it? Okay, fine. Think of your future, your children's 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 future out there, who are looking at something beyond themselves. We can write up all these dystopian novels at this point over here, how bad the Earth is. Or should we actually can get out there and take a look to see what's going on? If we want real struggle, let's see how we live on Mars. Let's see how we live on the Moon. The most hostile environment we've got right now is a vacuum and a rock. Can we make materials out of the Moon's surface and other materials from the Moon in order to create a base? Is there enough water in the strata to sustain life somehow? Can we keep recycling that? Can we use that for plants? Can we put up a hydroponic garden in there? Can we actually make a huge base eventually and have a colony live there? Not just scientists, but just general people. Rather than having general people living in a space station and surviving all these times, we write and create stories like that all the time. We've put them on tubes. We've put them on the regular videos. But until we actually get to that point, we're still in the beginning stages of getting our feet wet. And screw the damn politics. It's mankind's survival we got to think about. Now, you can put a different flag on yourself every single time you go up there, but you're still a human being. We also got to see if animals can survive in space, too. I mean, I'm not talking about short-term going up there and then coming right back down. I'm talking about long-term. Can we do a cattle? If we can't do the cattle, can we make protein synthesis stuff? Make artificial meat? And we if we can't have the real stuff, we might as well have the fake stuff. If it tastes good, I'd like to try some. Even down here on Earth, I'd like to give it a shot, see what the hell it tastes like. It'd be pretty interesting. But anyway, I thought I wanted to get that off my chest this evening here because I got pissed off at people. I am seeing too much on social media right now, people going after each other left and right. They're arguing, they're bitching, they're griping. As if we got enough issues as it is. As we've got enough issues as it is right now trying to deal and survive. Anyway, that's my take. Put in comments, put in likes, dislikes. But subscribe if you need to. Pass the information over to a friend, you know. Copy the links. Put it in your different emails out there. It's just something to get out there to the general public at this point over here. Anyway, that's about it for right now. I'll blather on maybe tomorrow morning. See what happens. Oh, by the way, besides the regular political and the pandemic we got going on right now, Southern California is burning up again. I suppose we've got an arsonist out there who just can't get enough of the fire news. Hell, we got fires going on in different portions of Southern California. It's pissing me off. What is it with these pyro bugs anyway? Like,